Okay, lawn fans, are you ready? Here we go. This is the backyard, my fescue area. Why do I have fescue? Because I've got this huge tree canopy that goes all the way around this backyard. Depending on the time of day, this is in shade, this is in shade, this is in shade. So it's a mixture of tall turpentine fescue. This is Northwest Georgia. Today, August the 23rd, 24th, we're in the 90s. Humidity is off the charts. This is the only thing that I can get to grow back here because of all the different type of environmental factors. What's going on right here is, if you saw in one of my other videos, I've got a lot of moisture being held in the ground right here. It's just the way it is. I don't get a lot of air circulation back here that'll dry this out. I've done a lot of diversion work as far as French drains and drainage systems, things like that, but this is a clay soil up underneath here, a deep, heavy clay soil. So the only thing I can do as of right now is to pull some cores out all over this area that's not drying out. I'm going to pull the cores out, then I'm going to come through. I've got play sand, I've got some Scott's lawn soil, and then I've got some soil conditioner here. I'm going to mix all those up, and after I'm done removing all the aeration cores from around here, then I'm going to backfill all of these with that mixture of all three of those different products. That should help with the problem I've got about the soil staying too damp. It's going to allow the heat and the sun to get down in, dry out, move airflow around down in here and dry it out. So I got this plugger from Home Depot. It was 25 bucks, I think. I've already got it pushed down in. It pulls two out at a time. I pull it up and boom. There's two cores that it's pulled out for me. Okay guys, slight correction. I don't need a screwdriver to push these plugs through. You jam it down in and they come up. Once they get so high up, it breaks off, and so you just keep moving right along. But what I am doing, I don't have it with me right now, is I went and got my DeWalt drill with a long bit on it, past 6 inches, and it's pretty big. And I'm drilling down the ground, opening up kind of like spike holes. So I'm using both of them in conjunction together to open all this up, but it is indeed a moisture problem because I have not hit one dry spot yet. So this should help tremendously, just opening the soil up alone, but also getting some sand down into it to fill the holes in, along with some other organic matter with the conditioning soil and the Scott's lawn soil. Okay, so I got the gist of how to work this little gadget, and you're basically just gonna put it into the ground, shove it down with your foot, back and forth, pull it up, and there's your core. And so here's a couple cores that's pulled out. One of those is one long cord just broke in half. So this actually does work. Turned out to be a pretty good deal. I think 24, 26 bucks Home Depot. So now I've done this area here. And as you can see right now, and it may even be in the course of this video, that you saw the sun was there, and just a little bit while later, now it's over there. That shows how little amount of sun this area gets. But Bermuda fescue still does grow here. So now, got my wheelbarrow, sand, soil conditioner. Now I know what some of you are thinking about soil conditioner. It's got a lot of chips and stuff in it. May even have some pine bark in it that the nitrogen may burn some of this grass with. I'm not worried about that right now. I got enough time where I can come back and plant new grass. We're August the 23rd, 24th. So I've got plenty of time to seed new grass. I need to get this problem fixed before I do seed any new grass. So Now, I've got all that in there. I'm going to mix it up. And by the way, if you are cutting trees down anywhere on your property, you want to get all that wood out of there from a live tree, because it will soak up all the nitrogen in your yard. I learned that. Had one of these yard experts on YouTube do a live cast one night, and he told me, oh yeah, sure, that tree in your backyard, leave all that pine bark out there, because it'll just mix in and be organic matter in your yard. Well, the problem was, that tree was green when we cut it down, so it messed the entire yard up. So, just be aware of that. So, here we go. How am I going to do this? First, I'm going to put this organic matter out. All I'm going to do is toss it out. I want to get some of this down in the holes, everywhere where I did the aerating. Then, I'm going to come back with regular sand and do a coat of it, kind of like I was leveling. And this should help with my drainage issues. So why am I using the Scott soil mix in this conditioner? Again, I'm trying to introduce some organic matter into the soil, because all this has been is a bunch of hard Georgia red clay. That's all it's been. So I came in and put 2 or 3 different levels of Bermuda on this. Didn't catch because of all this. But what it did do is introduce some nice soil, topsoil, to go on top of that Georgia red clay. So I've got that down in there, but if I have a chance where I'm aerating and I'm pulling cores out that are as deep as these are, you know, like this, then I'm going to go ahead and try to get some organic matter down in these holes. So, well, my next thing I'm going to do is come in here with the broom, sweep all this stuff into the holes that I've created, and then come back with some sand and level everything out. I'll be back. Okay, so what now? I've got the sand down out here. Does that look pretty? No, it doesn't. We're going to talk about in a minute what some of you guys are probably going to comment on or ask. I'm going to use my blower to pound the sand down in a little bit more and to spread it out a little bit more. Some of you are asking, why didn't I go get a mechanical aerator and it would have been a lot quicker? Number one, my entire backyard doesn't need to be aerated. Number two, an aerator is an extremely heavy machine. And back here, especially where it's wet right now where I'm at, where the sand's at, it probably would not have helped this at all. It would have rutted it up. It would have caused bigger problems for me to have to deal with. This took out cores this deep right here. So while I was doing this though, I noticed got a problem with thatch back here. I'm not going to come back here with the Sun Joe or whatever and dethatch this right now when it's 90 something degrees in Georgia heat. It's already going to be stressed heavily from this right now and me walking all over it. This is tall turf type fescue, which means it's supposed to grow tall. I'm trying to keep this at 4 inches, maybe a little bit higher to deal with the summer heat. And the result of that, I've got a Gator lawnmower blade that mulches. I probably should be bagging, but I've mulched it a few times and it's built up a thatch layer that's pretty good. So what I'm going to do is before I seed this fall, then I'll come through and I'll dethatch this, but I got to wait for that temperature to come down a little bit. What I am going to do is I've got a liquid dethatcher. I'm going to spray the entire yard here in a minute. When I get done with this, do the liquid dethatcher, let it sit 24 hours, 48 hours, and then I'll come through and give her a cut. But what I did now, poked 1,000 little holes in this, filled it with sand and organic matter mix. I'm going to blow it in more and let it settle, and that should help with this issue I have. Now some of you are going to say, hey Brian, you've got to fix your drainage problem. That's where you got to start. I have fixed my drainage problem. I have got French drains all over back here. Why is this wet? Because it gets maybe 2 hours to 3 hours of full sun, coupled with the peak of the roof here shadowing, oak tree shadowing, oak tree shadowing. There's nothing else I can do, and I'm not cutting down trees as much as my wife wants a pool back here. It ain't happening. So drainage is fixed. I have to dry this out and keep it dried out, and that's what's gonna happen right here. So hope that you guys learned something from watching this video. It'll be one of many about this backyard until college football season starts, and then Bermuda Brian disappears until the spring. So y'all have a good one. Bermuda Brian out.